Hey, good evening, everyone. This is State Representative Brad Albrook, and welcome to the Sunday Night Live, live at the Conservative Campfire. What do you think of that, Chris Miller and Dan Calkins?
I think it's
I like
great.
it. It's great to be here this evening with you, rascals. I'll tell you that. This is going to be fairly entertaining.
Well, we hope so. Dan, any thoughts? You got plugged in there, Dan. It looks like you were operational tonight.
It was a struggle. I'm not sure how it worked, but it worked. We're here under the good graces of Google, I guess. That's I had to say.
The big tech overloads has extended some grace to you tonight, and they've allowed you to be on. It looks like.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and thanks for putting this together, Brad. And thanks
Yeah.
for waiting for me.
Yeah, well, this technology stuff is always kind of it's just, I don't know what to think. But anyhow, so guys, I had done some Sunday night stuff way back and had kind of got out of the habit of it, I don't know, year and a half ago. And so I thought, I'm going to try to kick this back off on Sunday night. Guys, we got a lot of stuff going on this week. And so I just thought we'd give folks kind of a glimpse through the window and what we've got to look forward to this week. And I know I've got a town hall that is in the new 107 tomorrow night in Shelbyville at the Lake Shelbyville Visitor Center at 6 o'clock. You can go to the rephalbrook.com, look at the events there. And then I know we're doing a group event on Tuesday. Chris, that's in your new district there at Arthur. You want to talk about that?
I'll tell you what, I feel extremely blessed to have Yoder's Country Kitchen right there. It's real handy to do things at. Tomorrow or Tuesday evening, we're going to be having a town hall there. A lot of the gun owners are really fired up about the gun grabbers, and they requested that we would do an in-person town hall, and so with the help of some locals as well as our capable staff, we kind of threw this together on the spur of the moment. But it's going to be at Yoder's Country Kitchen there in Arthur, Illinois, and doors are going to open up at 6, and we're going to try to kick it off at 7 right on time. And they'll, if you come early, they always have great fried chicken and gravy there every night of the week. Plus, as a little bonus from us to just show how much we care and how glad that we are that you came, we're going to have some pie and coffee that's available to kind of seal in the cracks after you get done eating supper.
That's great. And I want to remind everybody, Chris, that the best pie that they could get, if they really wanted a good piece of pie, would be that coconut cream pie. Everybody should get their hands on the coconut cream pie.
That's my favorite, Dan. I tell you what, we're trying to have some of that left over so I can take home a doggy bag.
It's not going to be. Now, we had Yoder's catered last night at the Pheasants Forever banquet here in Mount Zion. So I had the pleasure of their fried chicken and noodles, and the biscuits with the apple butter. It went well.
That's what country's all about.
That's what Yoder's is all about, and we're just just pleased to have them host us again. They've been great friends.
Yeah, where we come from is cornbread and chicken. Somebody wrote a song about that.
Well, guys, we've just made this kind of a casual affair tonight, and we're just going to kind of have a little discussion here, and I'm just going to make the invitation. We've got it scrolling along the bottom. We covet your comments and questions. Let us know where you're tuning in from tonight. We'd like to know kind of what our reach is here. And so, hey, guys, Tuesday night over there at Yoder's, we talk a lot about truth, logic, and common sense. Do you suppose we'll swerve into that at all over there? Truth, logic, and common sense. Will we have any of that Tuesday night?
Well, I guess it depends. If you get there on time, I'm sure you'll get an opening prayer that'll probably swerve right into that. Our chairman is quite famous for leading us in prayer, and it's always inspirational. It's a great way to kick off an evening event, and we'll have an opportunity to do that Tuesday night.
Right.
So we're looking good. We got some friends that are kicking in here. We got Robert and Terry and Brian, Wayne, Teresa here from Decatur. Chuck, hi, Chuck. Muhammad, Chris, that's your new district.
Yeah. Hi, Chuck. Glad you joined us.
That's good. There's a couple of events coming into Muhammad, and I know, Chris, I don't know if I gave you the invitations. They've got the Excellence in Business Awards on February 27th up there at the Muhammad Chamber is doing, and then the Muhammad Area Youth Council is also having their fundraiser up there in March. So if you folks up in Muhammad, look forward to seeing Chris, and maybe if Mary's in town, you'll get a treat. You'll get to see our Congresswoman.
One thing that we should do is we should give them a real tip of the hat if they're in business still with all of the bad public policies that the radical Democrats have been imposing on our state. So they've really done a marvelous job.
Oh, that's great. So,
Brad,
hey, so
Chris, it's going to be the three of us Tuesday night, and then Blaine and Adam, right?
Yep. Yeah, I know that there's been a few of my our colleagues have been floating a trial balloon to see if they could get an invitation too, but I don't know. So, get a little dicey when you get north of I-80.
Is Jed, our new member, Jed Davis, is he going to be able to make it? I know they've got a lot of freshman stuff planned this coming week in Springfield.
Yeah, so Dan, you might just kind of introduce. We don't have Jed on tonight. I'm sure we're going to have an opportunity to have him sometime, but just tell our folks out there about our new Freedom Caucus member, if you will.
Well, a little bit about Jed is a great guy, family guy, is very involved in, excuse me, very involved in his church and his school. Ran on faith and freedom. He's going to be a really, really good member of the House. He represents his district well, and he elected to be the newest member of our Freedom Caucus. So last week we kind of put our arms around him, and he's already been a valuable contributor. He's posted some stuff on our intercommunications page. So we're looking good. Excellent. So we need to make sure that we get Jed on here. People are really going to like how he, what he has to say, and his real world experience. It's going to be a big deal for us.
Right, exactly. So, and to that point, I see there's a question wanting to know about where our dates and all the events are posted. Guys, we try to put this all over our social media. Our representative or our each one of us has a web page. You can find the events there. I know my e-newsletters that go out Friday and again Monday, Tuesday. We've got all those dates listed there. So that's going to be the best place to post them, or to see them posted would be there. I don't know if you guys have any other sources of information, what you guys got going on.
Well, another thing they can do is go on to the website on IllinoisFreedomCaucus.org. That's IllinoisFreedomCaucus.org, and they should be posted on there also. And like you said, our Facebook pages and different things like that are the best way. Plus, it would be a real opportunity too, because all of us, or Dan and Brad and I, we have a weekly newsletter that goes out typically every Friday or Monday, depending on how quick we get it turned out. But then also the Illinois Freedom Caucus has a weekly newsletter also. And if you would send in your email addresses, we could add you to that. And that's another excellent way to stay informed and know what's going to be coming down the pike in the near future.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to put that.
Stroll that. Yeah.
I'm going to try to put that on here, see if that'll work, so people can find it. So it's just IllinoisFreedomCaucus.org, and there should be a place there to sign up, and then the events are listed right there. Now, my Monday nights won't be there, but if you go to rephalbrook.com, you can find my Monday night ones that I'm going to do the next 4 nights. I don't think my Monday night events are listed there. I need to check on that a little bit and see.
Yeah.
So
You can also go on there if they're really feeling the spirit of Christmas and hit the donate button.
there you go. Yeah, will
Yeah.
that put them on the mailing list, Chris, to let us know, let them
I'd
know what's
say
going on?
that would get them up right up front and center.
Yeah, it'll help us with some of our AV costs. We're putting these
Right.
town halls on.
Well, and to that point, Dan, I think I need to hire an AV person because if I was, I'm just kind of talented enough to get us live here once in a while. I can get us live, but I need a graphics person to help me get those graphics up on the screen. But when I try to do that, they're always in the wrong format. That's we got to. It's always a formatting problem, guys. I don't know what the deal is, but
that looks good to me.
Yeah, well, yeah. What I'd like to do is to be able to bring in these graphics that we've created that we post on, about the events that we post on our social media, on our website. And I should be able to bring. I've learned how to bring video on. I can do that. Okay. But I need to be able to figure out how to bring those graphics on. And it's just a format thing. They're just always in the different format than this program will allow. So anyhow, to that point, hey guys, there's another big event week from Thursday on the 16th. When do you want to kind of kick that one off and talk about that one?
Yeah, Chris.
Well, on the 16th, we're having another live town hall down at the Hilton Garden Inn, the brand new hotel that just opened up. That's just west of the airport and east of the interchange there on 16. Jeremy Yost opened that up here a few weeks ago. They had their grand opening. It's brand spanking new. They have a beautiful, beautiful conference center there, and I'm sure that there'll be food and drinks and all that that will be available. And so it's going to be a great time. We're going to talk about a lot of issues that you are very interested in. Probably the main topic is still going to be the gun grab, but hopefully, we may be swerving into some other topics. I know there'll be probably an opportunity for questions and answers. And so, take advantage of the opportunity that we're giving you to stay informed and know what's going on, because this will be the center of truth, logic, and common sense, like Brother Holbrook mentioned there a little bit ago.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, we got a commenter, Joe from Clinton. We all know Joe from Clinton. He says, happy birthday to President Ronald Reagan. Tomorrow will be his birthday, born in 1911. And so tomorrow is Ronald Reagan's birthday. And I know we're going to celebrate President's Day this month with Washington and Lincoln. So that's it's a big month in Illinois, right? So all these great leaders.
Good to hear from you, Joe. It's good. Let's talk about a couple things here going on in Springfield. I don't know that we've talked enough about the rules. That's the only thing so for people listening in, we were scheduled for 3 days to be in Springfield 3 days last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Democrats had nothing going on for Tuesday. And I think we were there 20 minutes, gavelled in, had a couple of pleasantries, and did the prayer and the pledge, and gavelled out and went to caucus. And Democrats spent some time in a caucus trying to figure out what they were going to do. And we came back Wednesday, and same kind of thing, except that we actually did get the rules, the resolution for the House rules. And you may not know this, but the House rules are, 12, 15 pages. I mean, it's not just a simple 4 or 5 things that we talked about. I mean, it is a very concise roadmap for how we're supposed to be doing business. And one of the most contentious things, and this is in our lawsuit, it's in Tom DeVore's lawsuit, is how these bills actually get to the House floor or the Senate floor. And they supposed to get 3 readings on 3 separate days to give you and us an opportunity to respond to these bills, and then we get to vote on it. And the Democrats have abused that by gutting and replacing a bill that's already been passed and sending it back for concurrence, which is kind of inside the baseball, where they don't have to go to a committee. The bill just shows up on the House floor and you vote yes or no. But there's no opportunity for any of our constituents to get involved. There's no opportunity for us, other than maybe an hour's notice, to get informed. And this is a terrible way to run a government. And I don't know that we found a judge yet that's willing to take on this issue, because it's terrible. And it works. The way it's designed to work works. And if you want to know how or why, talk to anybody in the pawnbroker business. Last session, the Democrats introduced a bill that would essentially put pawnbrokers out. The pawnbrokers came to Springfield, spent 4 or 5 days walking around, talking to legislators, making their case. The bill then went to a Senate committee. The pawnbrokers had an opportunity to go to that Senate committee and testify against that bill. And guess what? That bill never made it on the Senate floor, because the people that it were going to affect had an opportunity to get their voices heard in Springfield and talk to their legislators in the House and the Senate. And that's why this process is so damaging. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how we're going to stop it. I guess it's going to take a judge or somebody to tell these people that what they're doing is wrong. It thwarts the way we're supposed to be doing business. So I don't know. But that was one of the big fights that we had on the House floor. I think Adam Niemer, our colleague, did a very good job speaking to that issue. They don't care. It's a tyranny of the majority. They don't care. They'll run roughshod over anybody, anything, any way that they can to get what they want, without any regard to the rights of the minority. We'll have to figure it out, because that's going to have to be the next crusade.
Right. Well, I know I ran a survey question about the 72-hour rule to kind of make sure that we don't have any more of this 1 hour waive the posting requirements and all that jazz. And it was overwhelmingly the people, they want that openness and transparency. And
Roger, thanks, Roger. That's exactly right. It's Section 8 of the Illinois Constitution that talks about a bill should be read. There it is. Thank you, Brad. This is, I don't know. We've got to find a way to stop this. Say, Mike. Okay.
Yep.
Anyway,
Excellent.
that's my soapbox for now. I know we're deep into the gun bill, but there's just so many things going on in Springfield that people need to know about.
So Tuesday late in the afternoon, we got our committee assignments after some level of, it just takes a while to figure that all out, right? So we got our committee assignments, but I'm not sure, unless it was maybe the next day or the next day, that the Democrats finally got their committees all organized. And so to that point, the committees are all official now. But for this coming week, there's only 2 committees posted. There's like a 6 or 6.5 day requirement to post committees. And so, guys, there's going to be a elementary, secondary education committee at 2:00. I think it is on Tuesday afternoon, and then a pensions or personnel and pensions committee for 10 a.m. Thursday. Both subject matter only. So nothing substantive other than, I guess, there's going to be witnesses come in, testify. The education committee is going to talk about the new funding formula that was passed a few years ago and how that evidently is working or not. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. I know I'm new to the elementary, secondary education. You guys may be on that committee or the other one. I'm not sure.
No.
Well,
Chris?
I was on that committee the in my first term, and I requested not to be on it after that, because one thing that I found out is we never talked about. I was on the Education and Curriculum Committee. We never talked about education, and we never talked about curriculum on, on the education and curriculum. And so I thought, what's the point of being on here if we aren't going to talk about education and curriculum? I mean, it was everything from putting tampons in the boys' bathroom to who knows what. I mean, it was just insane because it was all about social engineering. It wasn't about teaching kids to read and write and do math. You know, that in that committee, they're passing things to teach them very important life skills like having anal sex and stuff like that is what they seem like they're focused on. I mean, it's just unbelievable to me. Our kids can't read, write, and do math, and they're focused on all the wrong things. And so, I don't know. We're just going to have to scream and shout and jump up and down and wave our arms, I guess, to get their attention.
Exactly.
The parents are going to have to.
You know, there seems to be a pattern, Chris. I know you've talked about it, Dan. You probably talked about it as you're out. You know, they run these bills by, right, protecting Illinois communities or whatever, and these bill titles do, or what the content of the bills are the exact opposite of the title, right? So now we're hearing that there's committees that never see really what the purview or what the title of the committee is, or it's maybe a stretch at best to to put that in there.
Well,
I do have a bill that will probably instantly go to rules. It's called the Truth and Title Bill, where your title has to reflect what the bill is about. You know, which they just seem to have a real way. Here's the thing that I don't understand is they must know that it's a bad bill to even lie about the title of the bill and what it does. And so, and I don't understand why they think that they have to shroud everything either in political double talk or just out and out lie about what the content of the bill is.
Well, I mean, Chris, even the Democrats aren't going to vote for a bill that says screw the consumer.
Right.
We got a green energy bill, and it says, you know, let's screw the consumer.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, let me drop this question back out. I know there was a question here earlier or a commenter. Let me bring this in the screen. This is talking about, and I think this made the news. Is this in one of you guys' district about this grocery store with these huge electric bills?
Is it 10,000?
Yeah, it's 10,000, but I'm not sure whose district that's in.
Yeah, I know that's in local media, but I don't know where that's at either. So
I know that.
Roger might know. Roger, where is it? Kincaid. Okay.
Kincaid. Okay.
It's in Kincaid. Yeah. So here's a small town who will now become a food desert.
Right. And our friends from the city run legislation to eliminate food deserts, but this Aegis stuff that passed is going to create it because it's putting these small grocery stores in a bad way and forcing them out of business.
Wow.
I know that.
IGA. Wow, that's even worse.
Okay.
I thought that maybe that we should have a moment of silence for all Ameren customers.
Oh man, it's terrible.
I mean, I can't tell you how many text messages and phone calls that I've got, and different even when I've stopped by. I had some T-shirts made the other day, and she said that her bill has tripled. It's gone from approximately $200 a month to $700 to $800 in that range. And by the way, she would love to be on one of our town halls to talk about that.
Well, we should. Have her come to Yoder's.
Yeah. Well, and another thing too. Well, when we get time where we're talking about the energy stuff specifically, but I had JB's Steakhouse down in Robinson. He said that his electric bill went from $1,000 to $2,000. I mean, to make up that increment, you got to sell a lot of steaks to generate that kind of money just to pay your electric bill, and it just goes on and on. A disabled veteran from Clark County, his bill went from $200 a month to $650 a month. He's on a fixed income and he's disabled, and he said, I can pay my bill this month, but I can't pay it next month. And and it's just I get sad stories like that almost every day that somebody sends to me, and it's just It is so infuriating to me because this is all self-inflicted because JB wants to pretend like JB Pritzker is a phony environmentalist that flies around in his jet all over the world. And if he really believed in this stuff, he wouldn't be doing that.
Correct.
He'd be walking and plus that'd probably help him with his Jenny Craig stuff too.
Oh, no.
Wow. So, hey guys, we talked about these committee hearings.
Are we done yet?
Well, the big tech overloads, as far as I know, are letting us continue to roll on here. So let's hope for the best. I guess I want to go back.
The people this would be entertaining. So.
Well, we want it to be entertaining. We want it to be casual, and we're kind of trying to test those waters here, maybe, Dan, a little bit. So there was a question.
Casual. Okay, I'll straighten up.
No.
So I'm trying to find this comment or a question. Talked about attending the meetings in Springfield, the hearings, whatever the case might be. I'm trying to find where those are. I'm not finding that question now. But anyhow, Dan, what do they got to do to find a schedule? What do you tell folks when they say, hey, oh, here we go. I think this is the question. Yeah. So are the dates and locations? Oh, that's for our town halls. So that was earlier.
No, there was another question. And the answer is to go on ilga.gov. You go over to the right-hand side to the house, and then you can go down to committees. And yes, you are absolutely encouraged, invited to attend any committee hearing. You can also watch them. They're all live streamed if you can't get to Springfield. But there's the committee hearing rooms have seating for guests. A lot of the, they're not all great big auditoriums, but show up. And, people start showing up to these meetings, they're going to start scheduling them in bigger rooms because of the lobbyists, take up a lot of the seats in these smaller rooms. But but people come to Springfield. And, maybe that's a great idea. Maybe every week, Brad, we ought to post committee hearings. Mm-hmm. But the subject of the hearings, I don't think you see them. You see the committee, but I don't know that you see the bill.
Well, you got to dive into it. I mean, stuff's there, but it's a click, and it's not too difficult. But I mean, if it's a first time or second time through navigating all that stuff, the witness slip stuff, if you've not tried to do that, is a little daunting from time to time. But once you've kind of navigated that a few times, it's not too difficult. But I'm not sure if it's intentional to make it hard to find some of that information.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's an accident.
Yeah, right.
It's just the technology won't allow them to do it any differently, right? So it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So
limited. They have limited technology.
So we'll get those. I think we can do that committee stuff. We can put a link up, if nothing else, and hopefully do that. And then hopefully, and I guess, guys, I don't know what you would recommend, but probably the best thing is if people want to learn about these things, they can call our district offices, and our staff in the district office can kind of help them with that or send them something specific. But Dan, you mentioned ilga.gov is the best place, right?
Yes, and can you do me a favor, Brad, and take Michael off of here? Mike's making rude comments.
Okay.
You're gonna get me. No, I'm just kidding. You're gonna get me killed, Michael.
Yeah, we'd like to answer that question there, Daniel.
No. Not no, but hell no.
Well, you're too young, Dan. You've got to get a few more years. You're too young. You've not met the age requirement yet, right?
Exactly. No, I'm sorry, folks. This is it. We're gonna fight like hell this next 2 years, and we're gonna do everything we can to keep you informed.
Yep.
And we're gonna be there for you, and hopefully, as this goes along, we can change some hearts and minds. The people in Springfield, there's a whole lot of new members in Springfield. They're gonna get a big awakening when these bills start coming to committees, and they get the little piece of paper that tells them how to vote and what to vote on, and sit down and shut up, First time they get out of line, they're going to be, called into the speaker's office, and they don't know. I mean, we didn't know when we first showed up, Chris. Brad, you don't remember. You probably had to tie your horse up out front.
I thought I was in high school again. I was in the principal's office all the time.
Well, they set me right up in the front row almost, right by the door, so that, Leader Durkin could summons me on a moment's notice. They had Nick Bellini standing by my side.
All right. Well, guys, we've been about 31 minutes into this thing, and Dan, anything you want to leave our people with? And we're going to close out here momentarily. I guess we also want to remind everybody and that we will not have our Tuesday night live stream, right? Because we're going to have a live town hall. So just want to make sure we get that out there. Dan?
Thanks, Tammy. Let's just do a quick touch on the gun bill. That the lawsuit that was filed here in Macon County, I got named because I kind of was the ramrod of it, but not any more important than any of the rest of you. And Chris, thank you for standing beside me at the hearing.
It was my pleasure.
We're going to Jerry Stocks is our attorney. He's going to submit his request for what he wants the decision to look like. Governor Pritzker's lawyer will submit his request tomorrow, and Judge Forbes said he will make a decision in short order. We believe that'll be Wednesday. So we hope to hear from Judge Rodney Forbes on Wednesday what he has decided. As everybody knows, and we try to be very transparent, we've asked, and we will ask again, for this lawsuit to be declared unconstitutional for everyone in Illinois. I don't know if Judge Forbes is willing to go that far or not, but that's what our ask is. We'll know Wednesday what his decision is. So people stay tuned. As soon as we get get any decision, it will obviously be everywhere in the media, all social media. We'll probably hold a little press conference as well. But I want to thank everybody. I think there are, close to 1,600 people who have volunteered to help us. And a lot of you have donated to the cause, and I appreciate that. But I mean, this is a big undertaking. And I had no idea when I got started, how big of an undertaking it is. So thank you again. Take this opportunity to all of you out there who have stood by us in this endeavor, and my fellow Freedom Caucus members who have stood by me. We've had a little incoming fire. I think we've answered all the questions, and we'll see how this turns out. So thanks again, Brett. Thanks for this opportunity.
Well, thanks for that update, Dan. I know there's a lot of our viewers that have been lining up to help in all these cases, and whether they've donated to the FFL organization or ISRA or any of them, there's a lot of folks out there that want to see this unlawful, unconstitutional law pounded back before where it came from. So yeah, no doubt. Chris, any thoughts there on your end? And we're going to wrap this up momentarily.
Well, I guess one of the things that's really near and dear to my heart is this J.B. Pritzker being a phony environmentalist, while he jets around on his private jet and this whole thing has been brought to us because he wants to try to run for president. I mean, what a joke that is. But before Pritzker was around, took over, and the radical Democrats, we never saw the outrageous kinds of electric bills that what we're experiencing now. And without the return to domestic energy production, coal, oil, natural gas, the whole gambit, we're going to continue to see prices completely out of control. MISO was selling energy for $5 a kilowatt hour, and then June the 1st it went to $236. And I've been surprised that it's taken this long to kind of filter down where we're at now. But this is a problem. I've got a constituent, young married couple, their bill was over $900 this month. And just to put it in perspective, that bill, their electric bill, was more than their mortgage, their insurance, and their real estate payment combined. And it's catastrophic to the working middle class, the working poor, the very wealthy, like JB being a billionaire. He doesn't care. The very poor, it doesn't affect them because they're getting everything for free anyway. But the thing that bothers me the most is this whole narrative has been built on a lie. If you don't remember anything else I say, remember this: we're not having a climate crisis, but what we are having is a crisis of common sense. And so that's all I got to say about that for right now, but I'm sure that we'll have more to say as time goes on.
Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Dan, go ahead.
One quick request now that we have Chris's kind of his attention. I would like to ask that our Congresswoman Mary Miller introduce legislation or work on this. They're working on a new budget with the spending cap and whatnot, the debt ceiling. It's time to end the subsidies for wind and solar. They've been around.
That would help a lot.
Yes, let them stand on their own 2 feet. Let them compete just like any other business for our business. And
that's what I never thought about this. That's what the Chinese balloon was doing. They were saying how many Chinese wind farms and how many Chinese solar panels were around. They were collecting data.
Right. Well, Dan, and to your point, I mean, how many government subsidies did it take to make these phones the hottest thing in 10 years? How many government subsidies did it take to take those to the top of the market? And really, I mean, smartphones have been out 10 years, 12 years, 13 years.
Yeah.
And people figured it out, right? If they want this stuff, they're going to buy it and they're going to use it. The market's going to solve this problem. But because we have this false narrative by the radical left, their solution to force it upon us is to shut down the natural gas, the coal, the oil, and to subsidize these other things, the giant sky blenders, some will want to call them.
Yeah. And eventually they will come after our nuke plants.
Yeah.
Eventually they will. And
got a scary name.
Yeah. Hey guys, we may need to cut this off. Dan has been elevated from running to governor to there's a draft committee here, it looks like, for president. So wow, this is
if nominated, no. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's very flattering.
Well, Dan, I know you got a lot of fans, and Chris, you got a lot of fans, and hopefully we continue to build that out. Guys, thanks for tuning in with us. We're gonna tune out here. We will see you either tomorrow night at Shelbyville at the Lake Shelbyville Visitor Center for my town hall with Senator McClure, or all of us will be together in Arthur Tuesday night. Chris, that was doors open at 6, and we started at 6:30 or 7.
Well, we can make that announcement right now. What do you think?
I thought it said 6:30. I thought the door opened at 6 and we started at 6:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll get started at 6:30 or 7, but I think it's advertised.
I think it's 6:30.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
guys, I'm going to hit the out video, and thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night or Tuesday night. Thank you.
All righty.